Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so I am working on the ship scene with on my webcomic. Let's see, so I'm not going to bore you with the story again. But for those of you, I'll probably just go over it one last time, just one more time. Now, this story is pretty much concerning my sorry, have to think and draw at the same time. All right, a guy who can't sleep, and he is pretty much his love interest here is on a ship, and all kinds of hell is about to hit the fan on, what's happening with him. So, but right now, she's got her own issues, and the cruise hasn't even begun yet. Or actually, it's been stalled. It's not going to really begin until they pick up the air crew. And at this rate, they just got some bad news that the cookie jar has been raided by some bad actors. Someone thought it would be funny to poke a hole in all the condoms in the cookie jar. So the skipper is addressing that, and for the particular story, I have I loved Top Gun when I was a kid, teenager, and best recruiting video ever, movie ever. And I had joined the Navy, feeling the need for speed, only to find some P-3 Orions in the hangar. I was so disappointed. I expected to see Tomcats. No Tomcats where I was. None. It was so disappointing. There's a lot of things that were disappointing about my first duty station. I was very naive. But the best thing that came out of me being in the military is my lovely kids. Great bunch of little people who are now grown, and my daughter had served for a heartbeat, and I'm very proud of her for that. But and it's funny, I joined the Navy so I wouldn't get pregnant. That didn't happen. But what was meant to be is be. Okay, so I'm gonna do just a couple of obscure patches on Maverick's jacket. Oh yeah, by the way, I made the skipper of the ship Maverick here. And I want him to like kind of whine that, in my day, we just pretty much buzzed the tower. We didn't do this busting condom shit. Yeah, he's pretty pissed. Out of all the crap that happened, and I would love to show all the crap that would happen to him as a skipper. Him having his own ship. I think he'd be an interesting captain. Let's see. Oops. Okay, as we get off that circle. Not perfect, but that's okay. This is a very strange cruise patch. I have no idea. And it's funny drawing some of the stuff on his patches. I'm like, why does he have a Seabees? It's funny. He's supposed to be a fighter pilot. It's like, why does he have a Seabees patch? That's in the front. And I'm like, Seabees are the people that come in and they make bridges and stuff. They're like the engineers and the construction people and electricians. uh, in the Navy, mostly ground pounders, you would think. And I'm like, so why? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to hurt myself trying to think about it. There's other things to consider. Okay, so I have no idea what I'm drawing here. It's just this weird cruise patch that I've never noticed before. But you know, like when you're watching the movie, the person who's wearing the jacket is constantly moving, and they're not focusing on the jacket, they're focusing on his face, but his jacket looked tight, you know, from what you could see from the colors and all this stuff. Very 80s. Let me just go ahead and get the basic shape of this. Let's see, and this extends. It's funny, I could spend an entire video just drawing all the crap that I see on his jacket, but I will not. Let's see, there's some wording here that I can't read, but I can read vigilance. Let me try something here. Add text. We'll change this to red. And come on. It won't let me type for some reason. Let me get out the color. There we go. It's like I don't want to do two things at once. Okay, they're all caps. Let's see. Yeah, if you hold down the up arrow, like that's above the question mark 1, 2, 3, you can get all caps. But if you let go, it goes back down to lowercase. Let's go ahead and reduce. Now this is going to become pixelated as all hell. Let's see. Let's try to get the angle. But for giggles, I wanted to see if I can get it on in there. No, not so bad, not so bad. And then there's other little things happening on it. Let's see. Let's go back to black. I think these are supposed to be wings. But it's so tiny. Let's see, let me bring this down. Oh, different layer. You know, one of the funny sayings that always used to say in the Navy, doing the sea stories is what we called whatever little stories we told each other. Sometimes they were true, unfortunately. So I guess while I'm doodling on some of this stuff, this is all wrong. I'm not going to fix it. But let's see. This is red. I don't know if this is a tugboat. I can't tell. I'm just looking at all the different little shapes that are on here. Like this part here looks like a city. These look like waves. I don't know if it's supposed to be a ship because I can't read. I think it says U.S. Oh, destroyers? I think that's what it says. But I can't see. It says destroyers. Pace. I cannot read that. Here, let me bring it over so I can show you guys what I'm looking at. I had found a picture of the jacket. I see destroyers here. This looks like Pacific, but I can't read this portion, so I'm not even going to sweat it, because if I can't read it, I probably won't be able to put it on here anyway. Let me see if I can fix these wings, and I'll just probably duplicate it on the other side. I'm going to move this flag a bit. Weird. I have no idea what. I guess it's just as well. Let's see. Good enough for government work. Alright. That's a big ass patch. And I was watching the Berlin Take My Breath Away video. I'm like, oh, so that's what this is. Some big triangle patch here. It's like a big Boy Scout. All kinds of patches. But what's funny is that he looked really crazy young to be going to so many places. Makes no sense. Unless he was shit canned from all of those places. Okay, let me stop. We shall not besmirch our Maverick. Okay, and then this little area right here will probably be where a thought balloon would be. We'll do a ellipse. I'll just go ahead and fill this with white. And we'll just duplicate this. Make it stand out. Let's see, we'll put it on that. Okay, so we got that going on. Duplicate that, and then we'll bring it over here. And probably even make it bigger depending on how much he needs to say. The cookie jar has been compromised. It is, oops. I think I'll move him over just a smidge. Now when I'll tell you a little bit about my process here. Oops. I have a blank template, and that's this layer here that I have locked. That way I can use it over and over again. So like for a good some thumbnails, if I'm doing like really fast thumbnails, I'll create this right here, and then each layer would be either a panel or it will be the entire scene. So like, let me turn these guys off. There's this scene right here. So I can duplicate this. I'm going to keep these little guys floating, but I only have a certain amount of layers I can do. I think I can do about maybe 16 layers. So I have to merge my blocks here to make them all fit onto one whole layer. So I'm going to take layer, oops, cancel. I'm trying to figure out the new layer that I just created. Let's see. We'll give it this one. Okay, I want the one here. It's not like Photoshop where if you tap it, it'll give you the one that you know, the one that you want. Let's see, so we'll start it off like right here, and then we'll duplicate that one. And then we'll have him talking there. Let's see, and here's this podium. Now my daughter is supposed to be the one that's going to be coloring this, but there's some parts on here that I couldn't resist. This scene has already been played, where I have him down here. Let's see, so I'll close these off. Turn this one on. Turn this one off. Now the cool thing about how I have it set up, this entire area is 5 times the size of the actual upload that I'll be doing. So 5 times 800 by 1280. So each one of these panel thingies that I upload will be like a perfect page, you know, to where you have to scroll it. And it's seamless almost. Depending on if you could leave like a block open, and that gives you like time to think as you're scrolling. But I'm gonna probably end up moving some of the blocks around, so this one here might end up on layer 7. But I also could use this layer here to put Coffey in to show where she's standing. So I'm going to probably erase this one and make a whole nother scene where Coffey is standing. Now they're in the bottom of the hangar deck. This is supposed to be the big bay doors that are closed right now, and then up above where it looks like a curtain are where these banners are going to go. So I'm going to probably put something on here, like I think it spelled out USS Nimitz or Welcome to the Nimitz on the actual ship, but I can't remember what it said because it would take time to try to decipher all these little symbols. And these are the symbols these are the little flags that are going to be in that space. Let's see if I can make these big. And they all like are a letter or a number. Oops. So I'll take the time and do that on my own. Okay, so let's get on to the meat of this. And when I'm ready, I will just go here and then share it to my what is it called? To my Google Drive, like this. Share a JPEG image, and then I would choose my drive, and then probably change the title, and then just go ahead and upload it. So I'm going to cancel that. And then in Photoshop, I'll bring it into Photoshop after my daughter colors it, and then either cut and paste, or I will downsize it to the size that I need to go to. So that's going to be my process pretty much. Let's see. Let me get out of that. Alright. Let's see. Now I think 8 was a work layer. Let me turn this back on. Now I do my thumbnails, and then I'll have like a layer up above it. Let me turn that on, where I'll do the finalizing of the image. So I like using real people if I'm drawing realistically, you know, source images of real people. So I've got a selection here, and I like using real actors. You know, it's like, oh, you got Oh Boy to play this part. It's fun. It's kind of like trivia. Can you spot the person? So everybody here is a real actor. It's like you're doing your own casting call. So I want to use people that, or at least model it after people that I want to see working. And I'm hoping they don't sue me if this takes off or something like that, but I don't know. But this is like a one-shot deal. It's not like a series or anything like that. It'd be nice if it was, but it's not. Yeah, that's the whole part of the contest, is you have to... Oh yeah, and this is all for a short story contest on Webtoons. So if you guys are participating, I'd love to see what you guys are coming up with as well. Now the Webtoons is mostly, there's like a lot of anime pictures. The demographics vary, but it's mostly young people, I believe. But there's a little bit of something there for everybody. Um, from if you're looking for like alternate lifestyle type of things, alternative lifestyle choices type of things, stalker, what's it called? Stalker material. There's like this one here that I started reading. It's pretty good. But the guy is kind of like a stalker because he's too shy to go up to the chick and tell her, hey, I like you. I really like you. So I'm reading that one. Let's see. So, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. About her ear should be about right here. Let's see. So in the Navy, you can't wear hoop earrings or anything like that, but you can wear like a little ball. That's the only type of earring they'll allow. And it has to be like, I think it has to be like silver or something like that. A stud. It can't be anything flashy. You can't have your name on it or nothing like that. Let's see. I'm gonna give her buddy a really short hairstyle. Oops. Trying to make these into curls, but don't think it's working. So let me try switching this to a different brush. These are two of my favorite brushes. There we go. It's like it's very closely trimmed here. Now, while you're in the hanger bay, you don't have to wear your cover. So I'm not going to have her wear her cover because her hair looks cute. This is supposed to be her natural hair. I'll give her some curls here. So this is kind of faded in, and then her curls. And then just curly here up the top. Alright, and then, oops. I'm already in my favorites. Just need to scroll up. Now I'm going to do very lightly the shading, and then my daughter can do the coloring. This will save me a little bit of time, but by doing at least the contouring and stuff like that. Okay, so I get like a little bit of the gray there, and then just kind of smooth it out. So her friend looks like she's just dodged a bullet. I'm trying to think, how do I want to do, let's see, since she doesn't have a hat on, we'll get rid of let's see, I don't need anything else underneath here. And I'm just going to clean up some of my lines here. Now the brush that I use, the brushes that I use are basically the brushes that come with this program, Procreate, and I've added them to my favorites here. The one I use the most because it reminds me the most of a pencil is the soft brush. This is the brush that you can color with, but you can also get it to a sharp point. So I'm going to do that. And I like using this brush. Oops, let me get on the right layer. When I'm doing realistic skin, because then I can take the stray lines that I've made and then pretty much kind of smooth them on into the coloring. Trying to make sure I got the right angle for this. Okay, so I'm going to take my smudge brush and then just kind of blend some of the other lines in. And my eraser. Now when it comes to makeup, you have to be very conservative. Everything about being in the military is you want to be conservative. You don't want to slap the stuff on. And you're not really supposed to date anybody in your command. You know, you don't want to really fish in the company pond. It happens, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to make a hostile work environment. So it's like, why bother? You know, it's like you just got to make sure you have your priorities straight. Who are you getting dolled up for? Is it for yourself? Or is it for attention? You know, the prettier you are, you know, you're working with men. And sometimes the prettier you are, you know, the nicer people treat you. Learn that. But that's anywhere you go, I guess. Okay. It's not always the case, especially if people are pretty jealous of you. Okay, so it's like her friend is thinking like she dodged a bullet because, you know, she doesn't use those condoms there, and she's on like a different type of birth control. But Coffey, who was, you know, offered the other birth control, uh, like there's some birth controls that you can just jump right on them, and then there's others that you have to wait for your period in order to hop on it. And then there's others you just take medication, and there's always a different. Some are just like straight up shots that you can take. I know there was one that I could take a shot, but it would mess up your body. It would make you just like the first shot that you get uh, made you like have a period for a long time, and then the next one you'd get, you wouldn't have a period at all, or you'd have spotting. So I had gotten that shot before, and it pissed me off because I ruined almost all my underwear because I couldn't anticipate when I'd start bleeding. Your periods weren't normal. Um, Plus, it's always a side effect, whatever medicines that you take. And then with pills, you have to remember to take the damn thing. So if you have different allergies and stuff, you might not be a candidate for certain medications. So you use condoms or you use abstinence. Since a lot of my story has like sexual elements to it, I just kind of allude to the sex. Um, let's see, I've got a pose here. We'll have her friend work in one of the offices. So she has to wear the dungarees. But we'll give her like a little sweater too. See, I don't want her to look happy. Let's see. Well, relieved. Let's see. We'll make her lips a little bit more full. Let's see. I need this back to black. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up some of my little lines here. Okay, let's see. I want to give this a little bit more, just a few wrinkles for the sweater. Okay, so our main girl here, let's see, let's get her a little worried. Let's see. Let's see, do I have a good shot of her? Let me try something. If this doesn't work, then I'll look for another source image. Okay. Now I don't have a really good picture of my my model surprised or shocked, so I'm kind of improvising. Luckily, she's got like really big, expressive eyes. Oop, well, looks a little wonky, but you know, when you're shocked, you're not really paying attention to how your eyes are acting. Let's see. Oop. Forgot to look at the chat. There we go, just in case. Somebody else is up at this ungodly hour. There we go. Now she's got like really fluffy hair. Coffey does. I'm trying to decide what style I have her hair in. put Coffey in. Let's see. Coveralls. Okay, so we'll get rid of some of the background here. Yeah, so what I've learned about doing thumbnails is that, I'll draw them the next time I do them, draw them on the size that I want to ultimately do instead of like on the 5 panel. Like, this is what I mean by the 5 panel. I'm going to pop out for a sec. I had a template here that I had 5 panels. It's about the same size as, oops, it's the same size as what I would have, uploaded with. But instead of having it this size and then having to resize it to a bigger size and then having to resize it lower, and making notes, I don't have to really make notes because I know what I'm doing. If I was doing this for somebody else, then I could put notes here, but I got to the point where, the picture is self-explanatory. So I would break borders and stuff like that because I'd want it to be a bigger size or something like that. Like this right here is a pinball machine idea for at the arcade where the protagonist and the love interest meet. Plus it also symbolizes what's going on in the story, or the underlying theme, which is Pandora's box. Like the protagonist is like a human walking, breathing Pandora's box of different things that he's gathered from other people. So if anybody doesn't watch this movie or this video, they won't know this. So you're going to be the special one. So if you're catching the stream, this is the underlying theme behind the story. Is our guy is a Pandora's box. He is a box full of mysteries and stuff that was handed to Pandora. She is kind of Pandora. She's the one that can shut the box. And the only one that really can control the box is, to shut it. The only thing is that he'll keep building more of whatever he takes. Whenever he comes across people, he takes their evil, and when he goes to sleep, the box opens. And when he's awake, it's closed. But when he's asleep, it opens. And Coffey's the one that can close it. So hopefully you guys understand that. But yeah, so I don't use this 5 panel anymore. Maybe I might use it to brainstorm or something like that. But from here on out, to save myself time, I'm doing it in the 3 panel type of view. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that you want to write your story. Keep it not vague, but keep it non-specific unless that's part of the story. And so I wrote to the plot points, things that I absolutely had to have to make the story go further. One of them is this character right here, this female here. She is pissed off and jealous of this guy because our protagonist, because he keeps stealing her clients. His ear looks weird. I'm gonna have to fix that. Let me do that real quick. So as I'm discussing this, and I'll come back to Coffey, I didn't notice that before, that his ear looks wonky. Yeah, so with that happening, his ear should be between the eyebrow and the bottom of his nose. But yeah, so I usually keep the story, and I'll have to change my title here on my, what I'm doing here. Anyway, so people can see my process, what I've learned from watching other people's videos. But basically, for my story, I'll do the thumbnails and then start to do the pictures based off of those thumbnails. And oops, an even better one to see is this one right here. So basically, these were all thumbnailed out. And let me see if I think all the thumbnails are gone from this. But from these thumbnails that I created, I made, it made the story go. But like I said, you want to write your story, get your plot points that you want to accomplish, and then as you're drawing, some ideas might come to you on how to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Oh, here we go. Here's like a lot of thumbnails. This was the first chick that he's picking up at the E-Club. I have like a thumbnail of girls that see him when he first walks in. These are people, and he's walking through the club, and it's like a target-rich environment. Sees that there's a lot of, there's very few men to women ratio. At least this night, it's got two, and then him going to the what is it called? He's a regular at a hotel. So he's got two girls this time, type of thing. Or one girl, I don't know. But anyway, that's how my thumbnails are. They're just enough to show me what I want to, in the scene, type of thing. So anyway, let me get back to where I was. Now, Coffey could have an afro if she could still fit her hat on her head, and that it still feels, let's see, what's this? Let's see, yeah, so those two girls ended up being right here instead of being in that one particular panel. So they have their own panel so that you can, when you walk into the club, here it is. Go back. Okay, so here's them at the, I made a little color chart for my daughter for Coffey. This is what she's supposed to look like when she's at the club with the protagonist, and this is how I was coloring it before, but my daughter decided she wanted to help. I'm like, ew, okay. She's like, and then after I color it, you can, alter it from there. I'm like, okay, cool. I can do that. It'll save me some time. Now, just coming back to where I needed to be. Okay, so there's the Coffey scene. So here's what my thumbnails look like. This is not, I don't think this is the scene that I want, though. I want the Coffey ordeal. There we go. Yeah, if you don't label these, you might be in the same pickle as I am as far as trying to find them. I have this already stacked. In Procreate, you can stack your projects. The only thing is that when you're in a stack, it's not always easy to stack. So, like, let me see, if I want to stack the ones that are already finished. So, like, make sure this one doesn't have any extra pages. Nope, this just has the one. So this is like finished. Come on. And then this one is finished. So let me see if it'll let me select these two or these three, and yep, won't let me stack them. Usually you're able to select and then have an option to stack, and it just won't let me do it unless I'm doing it wrong. Let's see. Nope. Okay, no worries. Alright. Okay, so Coffey ordeal. Oops. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw some shading on her. And then when I get it back from my daughter, I'll go ahead and see, I'll have her head tilt a little bit. Clean it up a little bit more. So I have my story with the plot points, but as I keep it just vague enough so that I can improvise with things. I can also change it up so it's not, it's not set in stone. So, and I'll do one more, and this is what I mean by that. My story had him after this scene right here. After this scene right here, he needs to have a date quick. He needs somebody to sleep with him really, well, not sleep with him like sexually, but actually be in his vicinity. He needs them like right away because the next day he's got a presentation to give. So he has a call girl come over, and she's going to experience some crap. And I think I gotta finish this one up. This one's not done, but this is how I initially had it colored. And he had a time lock installed in his bedroom, and he's got like a little window in here that will open up to the money, so that once she's done and 8 hours is clicked away, this door will open and the money will open and she can get the hell out of Dodge. But my story was kind of open so that I made her late. And with her being late, I gave him like the icy words. And before, let me do that quick replay. And you'll see how I had mapped out the thumbnail. So I was going to have her show up, notice that there's a time lock and him putting money in, and her greed. She'd have to agree to be there for 8 hours for this money. But I'm like, you know what? Let me change up my story a bit. She's late. He's pissed. Here's the money. Here's the time lock. Tells her that there's food in the fridge, drinks in the fridge. Don't touch anything in his bedroom, and takes all the blankets because he's pissed off at her, and all she's got is like a bra and panties on. So it's like, who does this? Who does this? So she decides to get this wild hair up her ass while she's talking to her friend on Facebook. And she sees him have a boner, and she decides she's going to take a selfie. Once she takes the selfie, she sees something behind her. She turns around and she sees the monster hovering over him and just about to go after her. And this is what happens when he sleeps. He gets the best night's sleep of his life, and the other people are attacked. and this is actually worse than what really what initially would happen. It would be like they would just get a nightmare. But now with him going through so many women, this thing has gotten bigger and it's gotten hungrier. And it's and that's how I would map out the 5 scenes. I'd break panels because this is a rolling thing. Now the thing about Procreate, if you make your stuff big, everything below that, after you let it go, it's cut off. It disappears. It's gone. It's as if you deleted it. So if you do draw off your thumbnails, either draw it to the size that you want, or have a backup, like bring your thumbnails over to the size that you want. Because if you don't, you'll lose everything beneath, just like I did. All this stuff is gone. But luckily, I had already uploaded my thumbnail to my drive, so I can always bring the bottom 2 back. So basically, all I had done was just make this bigger and started drawing on my thumbnails. But as I was drawing, I started to brainstorm a little bit. It's like, okay, why are people doing what they're doing? So I'm like, how about if she was late? And then even coming up with the chick herself, I'm like, what? Because I like, I like having realistic faces and stuff, and recognizable ones. It's like, holy shit. So as I was drawing the thumbnails and stuff, I was trying to think, now who would I want something like this to happen to? Who would be freaking awesome in this? And I'm like, a Kardashian. They're hungry for money, and they're sexy, but also greedy, that sort of thing. Business people. Yes. So I didn't want to cover her up, so I decided to move her over to the side. So there's like, you kind of get that plotting, you keep it loose. Don't be so rigid as far as it's got to look like this. It's like, kind of let your mind wander as you're drawing. It's like, what if? So that's what this evolved into. Because she was late, he hogged up all the blankets. So I took all the blankets off and put them on him. And then the next scene, and you're able to add stuff like the chat, I've called it Lacebook, and then the person she's chatting with is like, so who does that? Her underwear has money makes me moist on it. It's like, this is stuff that I didn't anticipate, but came up with on the fly as I'm drawing it. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if his door looked like this beautiful red teak type thing? Wouldn't it be cool if he stole all the goddamn blankets because he's being passive aggressive? He's pissed that he's not going to get to sleep as much as whatever. He's got this hooker in his house, and it's like, whatever. So, and then I started thinking, would it be cool if I had bitch on her, and it's bedazzled and stuff like that, and then on the what is it called? The camera is that it would have like an eye. I'm like, that would be so cool. So I have that going on, and I found a funky picture of Kim Kardashian, but of course I didn't have a lot of pictures that were the same as her. I try to get the feel, the spirit. So that's how that came about. Let's see, what else do I have? So in order to progress the story, I just I know that he needs to go through these women really freaking fast. So I did a montage of him having no problems meeting women, getting them comfortable with him, and then all hell breaking loose with them, and then him and his sleepless nights, and then realizing that shit is getting worse when he finds a girl in his closet crying and whimpering over his expensive clothes, things like that. So sometimes other images give me ideas. Now, this is also part of that office scene where the lady comes in and she sees him like looking up chicks and stuff, giving him a hard time, making fun of him. And then he goes on to Craigslist instead of Craigslist, looking for dates and stuff. And so he figures that he doesn't want to go through the same problem as what he had gone through getting girls. Because girls eventually, it's a small town and maybe girls talk, You go to the same bar over and over again and people start to talk, So he figures that if the community is small among these women, imagine what it would be like among like the porn women or escort women. They may know each other. They may have come across each other. Things like that. And they would talk on Facebook, wherever. The office scene that I had developed before, here is the 5-panel thumbnails, and I would just take bits and pieces of this and put it onto the other thumbnail. And then it evolved into, from this to this, or rather this. Much cleaner, much more readable. You just read from left to right, down, left, right, or whoever's balloon is the highest. You'd read them first, type of thing. Okay, so I've digressed. And that's pretty much what I'm doing in a nutshell. Now it's all just get her done. Okay. Now, I am following Snail Lord on Instagram, and he was saying, and Snail Lord is the artist behind. Let me see if I can get to it, because my computer gets funky sometimes. He is the artist behind one of the webcomics that I watch, or read rather, and it's really beautifully done. I'm just waiting for my computer to pop up with it, and I'll show you what his work looks like. But I think he's been having problems with his hand. Crap, where is it? That's weird. It's not in my little subscriptions. That's crazy. Huh. Wow. Okay. Crap. Anyway. That sucks. Well, anyway, the whole point of bringing him up was that he says that he doesn't like storyboarding. And I'm like, dog, I love storyboarding. It's coming back and drawing everything that's, and inking. He likes the ink, but he doesn't like the storyboard. And I'm like, the storyboarding part's easy. You kind of let whatever's playing out in your mind come about. So basically, I'm going to have people walking away. talking to each other. And then maybe a thought balloon here or there. Let's see. As a matter of fact, I can make this bigger so I don't have to show so much of the background. Okay, she is very worried. Let's see. So we'll just have like a hand. I'm trying to do like different gestures to make it kind of feel like that they're not stiff or straight up and down. I can't stand seeing stiff, straight up and down stuff. Okay, so let's see, and we'll make her a petty officer. Give her a little bit of ambition. I think that was probably my problem too when I wasn't really ambitious. I just wanted to do my work and go home. Yeah, and it's funny, a friend of mine, my brother and I had both joined the military. I went first, and then he joined after I did. He was always that way. I was always the troublemaker. You know, I wanted to get out the house, so the fastest way out was either a commune or military, or so I called up the recruiter that my brother had gone to. And I saw Top Gun. I wanted to be up there with the best of the best, but I had bad eyesight, so I couldn't be a pilot. So I ended up deciding that if I can't be a pilot, I'll work with the equipment. I'll work with the planes. I wanted to be around those F-14s and stuff. I wanted to be the female, what is it called? The female Maverick. I wanted to be Tom Cruise. I wanted to be like Tom Cruise, up there with the best of the best. But that's just not my own worst enemy, though. Yeah, he was always his own worst enemy in his movies. Yeah, it's rare to see Tom Cruise as a bad guy. You know, the Vampire Lestat was the closest thing you're ever going to get to it, but yeah, the damage had already been done. I'd seen Top Gun, I was going to join. So I joined the military, and my brother joined a little bit after me, and needless to say, he's still in, but a friend of mine who we kind of left behind, she's like, you and your brother, you never talk about the military. It's like, I was really angry. I hated the military. I hated being in, because it's like your life is not your own. You know, and you had people yelling at you. You know, you weren't, if you were low man on the totem pole, people just didn't give a rat's ass about you. It was always easy to get written up for petty shit. Like, once somebody wrote me up because the coffee wasn't ready. I'm like, fat. Oh, I was so pissed. I'm like, you seriously wrote me up because coffee was not ready. Coffee. You want to ruin my career over you having a cup of coffee. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I was pregnant at the time. I had to get up. I worked crazy shifts. I worked 8 hours in the morning. Then I was supposed to work. I would go home, and then I would work the night shift at 8 hours. An 8-hour shift. So I worked the day shift one day, the night shift the next day, the mid shift after that, and then I was supposed to come in on something that was considered my day off, and what was it? What was supposed to be considered my day off, and do books like manuals. I was supposed to do manuals and read, and because the skipper wanted to send people to A school. If you didn't make it off the tests, they wanted me to take the test and everything like that, and or qualify for A school, which would be the skipper's discretion to send people to A school, because it made him look good. It's like, I sent 50 people to A school. I did this, So I was bigger than life too. I was exhausted, and my hours did not coincide with their flight schedule. And so since I couldn't work in my regular job, which was, I was undesignated at the time, I couldn't go out for any of the shops. So I had to do something. So I did light cleaning, but everything that was around us had chemicals and stuff like that. So I couldn't be around a lot of stuff. So they put me in the candy store, the Gee Dunk is what they call it. I don't know where that name came from. It just is what it is. And while I was working in there, my hours did not coincide with the flight schedule. So these pilots and their flight crew and bullshit like that wanted coffee. They'd fill up these giant frickin' thermoses full of coffee. They'd come in, they'd steal coffee. They didn't give a rat's ass, and they'd expect to pay the same price as you would if you were had coffee that was in a small cup. Something that would be like $5 or $6 worth of coffee. They expected only one to pay like $1 for it. I'm like, people are something else. But so the coffee wasn't ready, and lo and behold, they're all pissed off. Now it takes about maybe 10 or 15 minutes for these things to brew, and my hours, it wasn't like I wanted to not make the coffee, type of thing. But I'm like, you motherfuckers want to take me to captain's mast over coffee that wasn't even my frickin' fault. So after that, they finally put it on a timer. But these things were, the pots that I had to make weren't regular coffee pots. These things were like ginormous industrial sized fucking coffee. They were like, let me see. If I drew it, like, here's me, and I was huge. My baby was fucking huge. And there's my big ass legs and stuff. I'd have to carry this beast full of water so these motherfuckers could have coffee. This shit was heavy. And mind you, I was young at the time, like in my, let's see, I think it was like 19 or 20. And I'd have to carry a coffee pot this fucking huge, clean it and everything like that. And then, and it was a distance. It's not like the water was where I was. I had to go to a whole nother place, fill this up, then bring it in. And I was fucking huge. I was fucking huge. I was tired. So anyway, they tried to write me up for that shit. And I'm like, you people are some piece of work. So, of course, it went away because my chief of the shop, he's like, okay, we got to do something. We got to have this coffee ready. And he was a flight engineer, so he was another one of the offenders that loved to just drink the shit out of his coffee. Okay, we'll put like a little vehicle here, and then we'll put like a maintenance stand, because this is like what my shop would look like. There's just like people working on various shit. I'm gonna have like somebody listening to their conversation. We'll have like somebody fat here. And then other people are walking, and this is like a passageway here. Then my shop would be like right here behind, we'll put like boxes. They had support equipment stuff here, boxes full of crap. Could be tools, could be just bullshit. We were pack rats. But we also improvised. And he's sitting down on the maintenance stand. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just like coloring him in. We'll put the chief in a jacket. Whoop. Let's see. Just want to kind of have people be relaxed a bit. Maybe they see people acting a fool. What's going on over there? I don't know. They're probably head to the smoke pit. Gotta think about this shit. The boots. Yeah, these stands right here, they'd help you do maintenance on, get you to like places above the wing or something like that. That's the crap that we would work on. Anything to facilitate maintenance facilitate maintenance on an aircraft without us actually working on the aircraft. Let me make sure this is bigger. I keep forgetting that a lot of these lines are, let's see, we'll make this guy kind of fat. Not everybody was in good shape. Shape enough. We'll see, we'll have him stepping on a toolbox. Okay, so one of my favorite things, let me go ahead and select something real quick. I'm gonna kind of fuzz this up a bit because they're not the most important thing. I'm gonna use the Gaussian blur and just kind of keep our people in the foreground here. There we, oops. And we don't have to be above. Okay, and then on this layer, I can erase this panel. So now I can put like a thought balloon for her friend. Okay. Alright, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to her hair. I think what I'll do for her is I'll just have it kind of curly ponytail. And it may be okay. And I'm just gonna smooth it here around the edges. Alright, so got background shit happening. Let's see, I could put like more support equipment back here just to fill it in if I needed to. Or I could just expand it. There we go. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm trying to decide on this next panel, do I want her, because I know she's got to go to medical. So I'm going to have her go to medical. And then, okay, so I'll have my girl here ask someone, we'll say that some time has passed. Have you seen Coffey? Yeah, she's back over there. Let's see. Or actually, we'll say, we'll do this. We'll get rid of this panel here. We don't need someone to say, oh yeah, she's over here. We don't need that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show what a lot of people do, which is basically look out over the let's see, where are you? I'm trying to find the, there it is. I need that. Okay. And this is one of the loneliest sights I've ever seen, is when you see the one place that you can see horizon and water. And this is where the elevator is, the opening to the elevator. And you just see people just standing there looking. It's like you'll be working and I'm going to do, let's see if I can do some silhouettes. And we'll do our girl here. And it's all like kind of washed out gray because it's I set it to low opacity. We'll have my girl here. We'll have someone kind of squatting here. Let's see if I can get no, we weren't allowed to sit down in this area. Let's see. See if I can get we have maybe somebody talking to them, but it's just like people just stand here and just look, and it's lonely because it's like there's nothing. Let me see, we'll have somebody kind of maybe like this. Let's see. There's no, all you see is water, and it's a high traffic area too. You know, when you're going past this these elevators. Oh, what time is it? Oh, 6:49. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll have Coffey right here, and then we'll have her friend here. I don't want to slow the story down too much. You can't smoke over here, so okay. So we'll have that happening here. Alright, so I got that going on, and then let's see. Now the thing about the ship is if you get bad news and it's like really hot gossip, it's everybody knows about it. It's disgusting. Like when somebody gets pregnant, it's all over the ship within hours. Sometimes even faster. And it's like, how the hell do you know? You know, and people, what they say about loose lips in ships, there's very little privacy when shit like that goes down. So, what I'm about to do is just draw Coffey looking kind of sad. Just gotta find my source image. Doesn't look like I have. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna probably change this a little bit. Get back to. Yeah, this is it. Alright, so back on this. See, I believe that's the layer I was working on. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this is the layer, and this is the work layer. Oops. Bring that down just a bit. Okay, so I'm basically going to have her kind of looking sad. Before I would like, you know, because I know that I wanted to really show what it's like to wear the scarlet letter when you find out that, you know, you're the one that everybody's gossiping about. At least this time, this person's not the only one. See, I want her just really looking sad, but I gotta keep what she looks like. And bring those eyebrows down. And the saddest thing is that she really wanted to go to Japan. It's the first time that she would so I'm kind of projecting myself onto here. It's like, I wanted to go to Japan. No. A certain someone who had a birthday yesterday had to be born. Yep, this is kind of what happened to me. Not the broken condoms thing on the ship, you know, the sabotage. No, with me, the condom broke. Didn't know it was broken. So, a certain guy that just had a birthday yesterday. That's kind of ironic. Yep. And she's gonna kind of go through what I went through. It's like, I can't find a father. I can't find him. He won't call. He won't pick up. What am I gonna do? You know, so I'm trying to decide if I want to tilt her hat. Yeah, people were pretty brutal. I remember people kept coming up to me going, "Is it true? Is it true?" It's like, how the fuck did you know? Just, is it true? Is it true? You know, it's like, let's see what we used to find here. Brush. And there's like no escape from it. It's like constant. And then, I don't know, it's like, I had never seen men gossip so freaking hard till I was on the ship. They gossip their asses off. Mostly when they're glad it's not them. And then I can do like a sunset or something like that. See, I'm going to need a name for her friend. See. Let's see, 1, 2, 1. Oop, her eye's a little too far off. Should be like an eye apart, so about like right there. Let's see. Yeah. And I'll throw some shadow. And we'll raise her mouth a little bit. Spread some of the love here. Poor chick, makes me want to cry. You're gonna cry, and I'm gonna cry, and then we're all gonna cry. It's like I'd have a whole conversation and stuff, but there's since if you're watching this particular video, so I'm gonna spill some of the beans and maybe ruin a little bit of something. Part of the reason why Coffey can see, or Coffey's kind of immune to what's going on, and what makes her kind of special is that she knows that the monsters are there. She knows that this guy has problems. She knows. She's seen them. She's seen them when she when she first met him, or even before she met him. It's like they are constantly there, but they're not his monsters, is why she gave him a chance, I guess. And he turned out to be nice and made her happy. So she had to kind of make a decision. Do I hang with this guy, or do I run like hell? So, like, he would absorb people's pains. That's how he was such a great salesperson. But that stuff has got to go somewhere. And it's not something that it's, I don't know if this mysticism type of stuff would run in her family type of thing, where they could see um, spirits or things like that. But he had a lot of it, and it he was constantly absorbing other people's pain. That's why people like to gravitate around him, to trust him. Um, and in his line of work, he's constantly meeting new people, coming across people on the street. He's got an empath type of gift, but doesn't know how to, work with it. Not even aware of it. And it releases at night, but a lot of the stuff that he has uh, manifests into something completely dangerous. And so when he was with Coffey, who was aware of the thing, or the things that were happening to him, it didn't bother her. It didn't mess with her sleep. It's like she suppressed it. His pain was dissipated. Well, not dissipated, but it was, what is the word? Suppressed. So instead of it being worked out, because he's got like more than a lifetime's worth of it, he's got it all stored up, and it's starting to seep out in the form of nightmares. So it's like when you have something bottled up inside of you and you can't express it, he never expresses it. And maybe it's just something with this culture, you just keep it all inside. But with him, that shit needed to come out a long time ago. He's just been storing up people's pains. Let's see. So, she had to make the decision, do I want to be with this guy? Or, or do I let him go and let him keep doing what he's doing? But she could see some of the creatures that were around him, so he felt good when he was with her. And then with her gone, there was nothing to hold that stuff back anymore. It's like he finally had like a relationship that worked, and was able to express some of the stuff out, but not in a bad way. I don't know. It's like he became less selfish. Try to get some depth here. There we go. She brought out the best in him, but basically. Alrighty, so it's almost time for me to go. So it's kind of like bittersweet. Her dream was to see Japan. She'll never get to do that. So her and a few other ladies are gonna be booted off the ship when they get to the state, when they get to San Diego. So the only good thing is that she's not alone, you know. But she also can't seem to reach him. So that'll be part of the problem. You know, cell phones aren't working on the ship, just bad reception. And then we'll show the lines, how she finally gets through the line, only that she still can't reach him. And then in a few videos we'll see why she can't reach him. So all the light is going to be on that side. So this side should have gotten a lot of the shadow. All right. This should kind of come up a little bit as her okay, so, and like part of her knows that he's already moved on to the next chick or something like that, but I don't know, let's see. It was very sad girl. She's trying to keep the brave face because, you know, people are dicks and they talk about it. Don't want to be more gossip. There's very few places on the ship where you can have absolute privacy. You don't even get absolute privacy in the toilet. Well, it depends on which one you go to. There was a place on the ship that I would go to when I just wanted to get away. Being a female, you're the minority on the ship. So I found this one bathroom where, it had like 3 stalls in it, and it was quiet. It was a nice bathroom, so clean, and nobody in there. So I would go in there every now and then and take the load off. Okay, so we'll fix her hat. Alright, you guys, so this is going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick replay, and only those who basically have been here on this live stream will kind of understand some of the underlying story to what's going on this. Spoilers, I guess. Now, my thing is that at the very end, that's when I'm really going to show everything that everybody sees. The person who is behind the let's see, we'll have her put the alright. There we go. Well, I don't need that. We'll do this. Actually, let's do this. And since the line is on its own layer, it's not going to hurt anything. Alright, so my alarm is about to go off. Let me do a quick replay. We'll do the anime tears welling up in the eyes. We won't let them fall because bad things happen when people see you crying. It becomes gossip. Okay, so let's go back to this layer. We'll erase a few of these strays here. All right. And then we'll just merge these together. Let's see, I don't think I need... Let's see, I do have to keep this one for a while longer. Yeah, so I'll just do that. Alright, so we got that going on. Now this could be a smaller panel right here. And usually this is blacked out around the edges here. Okay, no worries, so almost done with this particular page. Alright, so for those of you who are just joining, hi, I'm Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. And I am working on my my webcomic called Nocturnal Emissions, and these are some of the pages that I worked on yesterday and the day before. Basically, I I had to find a way to get her off the ship. And as fate would have it, uh, there is a person who sabotaged the condoms in the cookie jar. There's a Cookie Monster condom dispenser, and someone went through each one of those condoms and poked a hole in them. So, as an environmental health type of thing, it's pretty devastating. So, um, with that happening, the captain of the ship is telling everybody that he doesn't want a repeat of other incidences that he's had. He's like, back in my day, and we just buzzed the tower. But with what's going on with him, or what's going on with the ship, he's responsible for everybody on the ship. So basically, he's telling people that you need to go get tested. You know, we still have the don't ask, don't tell, don't pursue type of thing going on in the military. So what that means is if you're of one of an alternative lifestyle, they're not going to ask you anymore like they used to. I remember I've never been asked so many times, am I gay? Have I ever had gay sex? Do I do animals? Have I ever done animals? And they said it with a straight effing face. Or ask those questions with a straight face. So they no longer ask those questions. Maybe the sex with animals thing. You know, we don't want no deviants. We gotta look down on somebody, right? But yeah. So on the ship, I have Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise's Top Gun character as the skipper, and looking very what is it called? Very stern. And then his wingman, or XO, the executive officer, the next one from the CO, you got the XO, that is Iceman. And I'm using Val Kilmer's character aged up a bit, holding the cookie jar. And that's what they basically call the condom. It has the dispenser. It has C is for condoms and take all you can use all you take type of thing. Well, these guys kind of, he's proud of them for using the condoms. Unfortunately, some bad actors have decided to poke holes in them. So he's gonna get down to the bottom of it, and y'all get tested, and some of you will have, it'll take longer to get results, some of you a little bit faster, and we're on top of the problem, and things like that. So of course the ship's company is about 1,500 people. This is probably just day check. He's probably got to do the same thing for night check, and sometimes it's just day and night shift, 12-hour shifts, and so he's addressing some people at the what is this called, the hangar bay of the ship. The gray bar that you see behind him is going to be the hangar bay doors that are closed this time. It'll take a bit for everybody to get the message, but where it'll filter down throughout the ship to get tested in medical. So let's see. This was yesterday, working on the people in the background that are standing around listening. And then I worked on, here's the Cookie Monster part. So I was working on that, and having Val Kilmer be the one that's holding him, and still having Iceman be a pilot, Ted Kaczynski. But yeah, so it's like a little Cookie Monster with holding a condom. And I spent all this time making like this little baby on the condom with like the Ghostbusters kind of theme, where, Baby Buster. Let me turn my alarm off so it doesn't get so jarring. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what was going on in this little picture here. And then, I had told myself that doing the thumbnails, because I'm short on time, or at least my time frame, that I was going to stop doing thumbnails, from beginning to end. I'm only at the midpoint, and that I will draw out everything so I can get my daughter to color it. Hopefully she can get her iPad fixed color. If not, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going, but to help her out a bit and to help myself out, because I was going to alter the picture once she's colored it, so it looks more like my style, or maybe it's a merging of the both styles. We'll see how it goes. Like the red flashes were me trying to fill in an area, and it just filled in the whole damn screen. I'm like, grrr. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to draw the Cookie Monster and Iceman holding the Cookie Monster. But yeah, it's under those circumstances, it's taken a even darker turn than what it was. So I think I left off with the skipper giving apologies, and that he'd get on, have a task force to get on this. He's mad because he's going to lose a lot of good sailors, and a lot of people use those damn condoms. So people who are cheating on their wives, whatnot like that. Okay, so this is where we are today. I had started with doing like one of his cruise patches. But anyway, here is today's scene where her buddy is thinking, God damn, I'm glad I got that, what is it called? I should say that she got her tubes tied or something like that. I got my kids, I'm good. But her friend, the Coffey is, she's not doing so hot. So I did a quick picture of her friend, and it's like you get extra points if you can tell who the friend is. But yeah, so I decided I was going to condense it down a little bit. Now, none of this part was scripted into my story. I have, because I was still kind of like worried, trying to figure out how am I going to get this girl off the ship. And finally it kind of came to me is that just do it the natural way, get her pregnant. So she is going to be off the ship, and she's not happy about it. Partly because she doesn't want to raise this baby by herself, but also because she can't get a hold of the guy. He's going to want to know about this sort of thing. And at least that's what she thinks he wants to do. It's like he's not as shallow as he used to be, but he's still shallow, but he needs to, I can't do this alone type of thing. Her friend kind of empathizes with her and stuff. So that's what the scene's going to be. Just poor Coffey trying to get a hold of this fool. And I think once I finish doing these, I'll go ahead and focus on him, and I'll go ahead and show what he's going through right now and why she can't reach him. That's what's really going to get us, like, why he can't be reached. All right, you guys, I will see you on the morrow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that if you like what you see, like, subscribe, and if you like to be maybe a cameo or something like that in here, let me know and we'll collaborate. I'll grab your picture and throw you in there. Can always use more people in the backgrounds or victims or monsters or whatever. So you guys have a great one. Stay healthy, stay safe. Bye bye.